Hi there, this is Nevaeh, and welcome to the Wrestling Time Post Show. It is Friday, June 9, 2023, and I will not be reviewing Friday Night SmackDown or AEW Rampage because I will be talking about impacts against all odds, and we actually have so much to talk about. Let's kick things off by talking about this main event. It was the Impact World Title match, Shelley versus Steve Maclin. Now, this is a culmination of 20 years for Shelley since day one. He has not won the Impact World title. This was his chance to finally win. And the reason why he got this opportunity was because he did win a six-way scramble match at Under Siege to become number one contender. And I have to say, this was a really good match. I was surprised by the ending. But before we get into this ending, we got to talk about this match because this match was really a good match. So you have Shelley attempting to put Steve Maclin into the Motor City stretch, but he escaped from this. He hit a knee to face of Steve Maclin on the outside. He actually hit the dragon screw to Steve Maclin using the ropes, which is how he became number one contender in the first place. He also did an armbar to Steve Maclin. Like, he was throwing everything at Steve Maclin here. Steve Maclin doing an Olympic slam to Shelley. Shelley hitting a chop block to Steve Maclin's left knee. He did another dragon screw to the left knee of Steve Maclin. So when Shelley put Steve Maclin into the figure four, he escaped by grabbing the turnbuckle. So he actually exposed a turnbuckle. And then Shelley did a twisting neck breaker. Steve Maclin doing a psycho knee and then a brainbuster to Shelley. So this part here, like, totally, So first, Shelley does a slice spread to Steve Maclin on the floor. Then Steve Maclin hits the KIA to Shelley. So when he hit the KIA, I totally thought it was over. But Shelley put his foot on the bottom rope. So afterwards, Shelley hits Steve Maclin with an arm breaker, which is followed up with a slice spread from the top rope. And then Shelley went back first into the exposed turnbuckle. That was not enough for Steve Maclin to retain. Steve Maclin ended up going headfirst into the exposed turnbuckles because he was trying to do a crosshairs to Shelley, but it backfired. Then Shelley put Steve Maclin into the Motor City stretch. Maclin crashed into the turnbuckle, the exposed turnbuckle to top it off, and then he got hit with the cradle shock, courtesy of Shelley. And so Shelley was victorious here. And I have to say, I was so surprised that Shelley defeated Steve Maclin because, first of all, I was not expecting Steve Maclin to have such a short reign. He won the title at Rebellion after he defeated Kushida. And here, he lost to Shelley. I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy for Shelley. I was just not expecting Steve Maclin to drop the title here tonight. I thought for sure Steve Maclin was going to retain and go on to Slammiversary to defend that title. But no, Shelley is victorious. He is our new Impact World Champion. And he will face the winner of the 8x4x1 match, which I'll talk about when I get to it. But this was a really good main event. And of course, it ends. Let me see. What an amazing pay-per-view. Probably my favorite one of the year so far. Yeah, definitely. People gotta stop sleeping on Impact Wrestling. And so how does this end? The ending to this pay-per-view kind of reminded me of WrestleMania 20. You guys know when Eddie Guerrero came out to celebrate with Chris Benoit after he won the World Heavyweight title, and Eddie Guerrero had successfully retained his 30-day title. This is what this reminded me of, because earlier in the night, Chris Sabin did defeat Trey Miguel to become a nine-time X Division champion. And so he came out and he hugged Shelley. And that's pretty much how Against All Odds ended, with both Motor City Machine Guns on the top, each holding their respective titles. I cannot wait to see where they go. I know I've heard some people say that maybe we're going to get Sabin versus Shelley, possibly Sabin cashing in option C on Alex Shelley. Let's see. Okay, so that was our reaction during the watch along. Happy as hell for Alex Shelley. But what the fuck with Maclin losing already? Yeah, right? That's what I said. And I too was surprised by the short reign of Maclin's, but still thrilled for shot. Yeah, like you guys said it best. Like I was happy. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy for Alex Shelley, but I was just so surprised that they ended Steve Maclin's title reign so quickly. I was not expecting this, but overall, it was a good main event. I cannot complain. But since I am on the subject of Chris Sabin, let's talk about his match next, and then I'll get into how Against All Odds started. So, Chris Sabin was facing Trey Miguel in a rematch because the last time Impact and Roddy Piper have in common, they changed the questions when we think we got the answers, right? It says, it's nice seeing both the Motor City Machine Guns on the top of Impact. They've been there a long time. Yeah, they have been there a long, long time. So this was a rematch because the last time Chris Sabin fought Trey Miguel, he's put spray paint in his eyes and retained his title. And Trey Miguel cutting a promo on the Go Home Show 2 Against All Odds by defeating Bhupinder Gunhar, saying that there wasn't going to be any ands or buts. It was going to be for a for sure victory here. And one of the things that I really liked about this match is that Chris Sabin had previously told Trey Miguel he was disrespecting the legacy of the X Division title, and he was disrespecting some guys like AJ Styles, Jay Lethal, Christopher Daniels, and Chris Sabin actually used their moves during this match, and I actually really, really like that. He did a backbreaker to DDT to Trey Miguel, which was Jay Lethal's move. He did the Angel Wings to Trey Miguel, which is Christopher Daniels' moves, and he did a Styles Clash to Trey Miguel, which is AJ Styles' moves. That was incredible. I think I popped for that. That was probably my favorite spots in this match. So, like, don't get me wrong, Trey Miguel tried it. He tried to do the spray paint thing. He took 2 spray cans, and the first one the ref took from him, and the second one he actually did spray in Chris Sabin's eyes, but it didn't work in his favor because Chris Sabin, kicked out, and then he went to the outside and poured water in his eyes. But Chris Sabin ended up clotheslining Trey Miguel, and then he hit him with the cradle shock, and like I said, became a 9-time X Division champion. This was a really good match. And I gotta say, Impact pulling a WWE and allowing Trey Miguel to lose in his home state of Ohio, I was not expecting that. I thought for sure, with them being in Ohio and Trey Miguel being from Ohio, that maybe Trey Miguel was going to win here. But no, he ended up losing in his home state of Ohio. So, what did you guys think of this X Division title match and of the Impact World title match? Are you guys happy Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin are both, champions? Where do you guys think we go from here? Are we going to see Chris Sabin cash in option C and challenge Alex Shelley to a world title match? Let me know in the comment section, or if you're in the live chat. But now let's kick things off with the countdown to Against All Odds, which kicked off with KiLynn King versus a returning Nevaeh. We have not seen Nevaeh since she left Impact over 2 years ago, so this was her first match. I'm not sure if she's going to make any more appearances, but this was her first match in Impact in over 2 years. And I have to say, KiLynn King won this match. No surprise there. One thing I do hope is that we get more knockouts tag teams, because this Impact, aside from the Coven, the only other tag team we have is the Dead Dolls, and like commentary was saying, they finished with the Dead Dolls, so we need more tag teams in this division. So we'll see. I think I have a feeling who might be the next challengers, but I'll talk about that when I get to that match. I don't want to jump ahead. We get the digital media title match. It's Dirty Dango versus Joe Hendry with Santina Marella on commentary. I have to say, I really liked Dirty Dango's new character. He's all serious now. Who would have thought he could pull it off? Joe Hendry did a song for Dirty Dango when he called it the Divas Reject, which is hilarious. It's actually a really nice song. I like it. And I don't know about you guys, but I believe in 252 pounds of pure motivation, the answer to all of life's problems. I believe in Joe Hendry. Do you believe in Joe Hendry? Let's see here. It says Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley are in what I like to call the elder statements phase of their careers, where they're basically expected to put the younger guys over, which is why it's surprising yet also really satisfying to see them win and become the top 2 singles champions while they're still a tag team, right? This is, oh, I believe. Good to know you believe, because I believe in Joe Hendry. You say his name and he appears. So the last time they fought, their match ended in DQ because Dirty Dango, living up to his name, gave Joe Hendry a low blow. So, in this match, you had Joe Hendry doing a shoulder tackle to Dirty Dango. And at some point they go outside and he grabbed the shirt from the crowd and he threw it at Santino Marella, who was on commentary. Joe Hendry hitting a neckbreaker to Dirty Dango on the outside. And the referee in this match was a lady, so Dirty Dango pulled the ref in front of him and gave Joe Hendry a thumb to the eye. And then you could hear on commentary talking about who does that. Dango said he wanted to sell that title on eBay. Thank goodness Joe prevented that, right? Exactly. He even had the audacity to call that title a toy title. You got Dirty Dango doing an uppercut to the back of Joe Hendry and then a knee to the left arm. Then he did a chest chop. I really like that cutter that Joe Hendry did to Dirty Dango. And according to commentary, this was a 211-day reign as digital media champion for Joe Hendry, the longest reigning digital media champion so far. And I have to say, I really like the finish to this match. It looked like a stalling suplex followed by a standing ovation, and Joe Hendry retained no questions asked. So, I don't know about you guys, but it kind of seemed to me like maybe we'll get Dirty Dango versus Santino Marella, because he did kind of say on commentary that, he wouldn't mind coming back for another match. So what do you guys think? Do we get Santino Marella versus Dirty Dango at Slammiversary? Let me know in the live chat or in the live comment or in the comments if you're rewatching this. But that is how the countdown to Against All Odds ended. And I didn't really mind these matches. I thought it was a good way thought it was 2 good matches to have on the countdown to Against All Odds. So the main card kicked off with Eddie Edwards versus Frankie Kazarian. And of course, Eddie Edwards accompanied by his wife, Alicia Edwards, who is his ride or die. Now, of course, Alicia Edwards tried to get involved in this match until she got ejected by the ref and got sent to the back for her constant interference. She put Eddie Edwards' foot on the rope at some point. She cheap shot Frankie Kazarian on the outside. She actually cheap shot at him twice. So she deserved to get ejected for that. I really like that Hurricanrana that Frankie Kazarian did to Eddie Edwards on the outside. But I'm not going to lie to you, that kick to the side of the head of Frankie Kazarian followed by the Blue Thunder Bomb, I thought that was a pretty cool spot. So you got Frankie Kazarian doing a superplex to Eddie Edwards, and then you got Eddie Edwards doing a clothesline to Frankie Kazarian. Now here's the part that it looked like Frankie Kazarian hit a pile driver to Eddie Edwards, which allowed him to be victorious here. But I thought this was a decent way to kick off Against All Odds. What did you guys think of this match? And Frankie Kazarian getting the victory over Eddie Edwards. After this, we get I'm going to just call them Team Bully Ray backstage interview here. And they're basically Nick Aldis, Jonathan Gresham, Heath, and Bully Ray all talking about their 841 match. Basically, Bully Ray makes it known that they can trust him in the 8-man tag match, but then after that, in that 4-way, they can take their trust, their respect, and throw it out their door because he will cut their throats and stab them in the back because he's going to become the next number 1 contender. But you know something? At least Bully Ray was being honest here. Io says, I thought Tracy was going to show up, right? You know, it wouldn't. What would you think if that does happen? Eddie Edwards and Alicia Edwards versus Tracy Brooks and Frankie Kazarian? I could see that happening, especially after Alicia cheap shotted Frankie Kazarian and then got ejected. So before the start of the Impact World Tag Team title match, ABC versus the Good Hands, we had Brian Myers cut a promo. Said that would have been cool to see Tracy Brooks come back. Yeah, it would have been. So Brian Myers is saying that he's the most professional and he's a multiple time tag team champions. He talks about how ABC might have the tag titles, but they don't look like tag team champions. He says the Good Hands look like tag team champions, and after they beat the ABC. And John Skyler says that they've learned a lot under Myers' learning tree. Now, I actually missed the learning tree, Brian Myers' learning tree. I actually really like those learning tree segments. Who remember Sam Beal and how he was Brian Myers' star pupil? I actually like that. And then John Skyler says it's a shame that they have to win. They're gonna win those tag titles in a dump like Ohio. Brian Myers emotes, LOL. I have emotes? I have Brian Myers emotes? Or is that you doing them? So, of course, this leads into the Impact World Tag Team title match, ABC versus the Good Hand. John Skyler talks too much. Yes, he does. He talks a lot. They're always cutting a promo before their matches. Really, they just gotta just go out there and like have a match. And like, let's not cut a promo. So one thing I did notice is Ace Austin is wearing gold and Chris Bay is wearing the traditional black and white colors of the Bullet Club. It says that's from his Major Wrestling Figure podcast channel. Oh, thanks for sharing, Daniel. And this is the first time ever match. Now, Jason Hodge wrestled Chris Bay, but Chris Bay beat Jason Hodge. John Skyler beat Ace Austin, which is why we're in this match in the first place. You know, Brian Myers went from teaming with Moose to mentoring the Good Hands. And I have to say, I actually really enjoyed this match. And I honestly would have been completely surprised if the Good Hands did beat ABC in this, but I'm so glad they did it. You know, I have to say, the Good Hands mocked the Good Brothers by doing the Magic Killer to Ace Austin. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God. Are you for real? Like, they actually legitimately did the Magic Killer on Ace Austin. I really like that Code Red to Jason Hodge that Chris Bay did. But my favorite spot was obviously that finish, that Art of Finesse to the fold. I really like that they combined that. Good Hands were game tonight. Yeah, they were. And honestly, I would not mind seeing them winning the tag titles somewhere down the road, but just I wanted ABC to retain tonight. The head scissors into the Art of Finesse to Jason Hodge, followed by the fold by Ace. That was a really good ending combo, if you ask me. But what do you guys think of ABC retaining and your thoughts on the Good Hands? Do you see them being future tag team champions? Because I do. They're definitely going to become tag team champions. So Trinity and Diana are interviewed backstage. And of course, they're doing the whole can they coexist with Trinity and Diana here. So Diana says they have matching gear. So they already look the part. And they're halfway there. But she says that the knockout title is very important to her. And in order to keep it, she has to be at 100%. And she wants the same thing for Trinity. She wants Trinity to be at 100% because when she beats Trinity, she wants to beat her at her best. And Trinity says she wants the same thing for Deonna. And she wants Deonna to feel the glow. And she also wants her bae back. Now, this upcoming match is the match that I was waiting for. The dog collar match. It was Masha Slamovich versus Killer Kelly. I was really excited for this match because, I mean, first off, Masha Slamovich was on Team Bully and Killer Kelly was on Team Tommy Dreamer. They had a match on Impact in which technically Masha Slamovich won, but Killer Kelly would not let go of that camel clutch, so she had that last laugh. And then they brawled throughout the arena. So this is how we got to this dog collar match. Masha Slamovich was choking Killer Kelly with that chain on her mouth. She stomped the hand of Killer Kelly. She was tossing Killer Kelly around with that chain. Killer Kelly kicked Masha in the face. Killer Kelly went into the ring post. Oh my god, like there was this one spot where like they went over the ropes, and so that chain was over the ropes, and Masha Slamovich was just standing there pulling on that chain, choking Killer Kelly on here. And then she dragged her back into the ring with that chain. There was a double clothesline. Both women ended up going down. Killer Kelly doing a double underhook suplex to Masha Slamovich. Kelly ended up pulling Masha Slamovich into a DDT using the chain. And Masha Slamovich was choking Killer Kelly with the ropes. Now, Killer Kelly, she did her signature killer clutch to Masha Slamovich, but that's not the only thing she did. She did Masha's own finisher against her using the snowplow. Just imagine if Killer Kelly would have defeated Masha Slamovich with her signature move, the snowplow. That's not an insult to injury. But then Masha Slamovich hit the snowplow to Killer Kelly. Not only that, but she had that chain wrapped around her throat, her eyes, and her face. And so Masha Slamovich was victorious in this. And at the end, she helped Killer Kelly up and she wiped what looked like the blood off her face with saliva. So I guess that means that Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich would form a tag team. And I honestly think that if they do form a tag team, they're going to go after the Coven and they'll probably beat the Coven. We need more tag teams in the Knockouts tag team division. You know, they lost a lot of tag teams over the last few months, so we need more tag teams, especially now that the feud between the Coven and the Death Dolls is over. But what do you guys think of Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich forming a tag team? Would you guys mind that? Let me know in the comment section or in the live chat. All right, so we get a Motor City Machine Guns backstage interview. And Alex Shelley saying that people were upset because he's given one-word answers. He's like, yup. And that for the last 20 years, he's done his talking with action, and every single moment has led up to tonight. They'd be unstoppable. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They would be unstoppable as a tag team, and I cannot wait to see that. For them to come together and then challenge to come in for those tag titles. But we still need more tag teams. So Alex Shelley says he's basically walking out of Impact with the title. Chris Sabin says that tonight is one of the most important nights in the career of both him and Alex Shelley, and everything that has been said is time for talking. The time for talking is over, and the time for action is now. To see Daniel William Clark says, yeah, that's what it looked like to me too. Looked like Masha was wiping Kelly's eyes or forehead or something. I could see them working well as a tag team. Yeah, definitely. I could see them too, and I think everybody would want. Well, I don't know if everybody wants them to become a tag team, but I wouldn't mind them seen as a tag team and winning those Knockouts tag titles. So after this is the X Division Championship match, but since I talked about that, I am going to go ahead and skip it. We get the A41 match. So the way this match was supposed to work is we get two teams of four. It's the team, I'm just going to call them Team Moose and Team Bully Ray. The winning team will then become a four-way match, and then the winner of that four-way match would face the winner of Alex Shelley or Steve Maclin, which we now know is Alex Shelley. So it was Moose, Rich Swann, Speedball Mike Bailey, and PCO versus Bully Ray, Nick Aldis, Jonathan Gresham, and Heath. So Bully Ray was going to start this match against Speedball, but he wanted nothing to do with Speedball, so he tagged out and immediately ordered Jonathan Gresham to enter this match, which I didn't mind because everybody knows that Jonathan Gresham and Speedball Mike Bailey had an incredible series of matches. Whew, that was amazing. So Speedball and Jonathan Gresham both shake hands. And this match was everywhere. At some point, Swann and Heath got tagged in. Moose cheap shot at Heath. Moose tagged himself in. Now Moose was kept antagonizing Bully Ray. He kept shoving him and kind of taunting him here. At some point, Nick Aldis and Heath double team PCO. Bully Ray ran to go drop Speedball from the top rope. PCO took out Heath and Nick Aldis. You had Bully Ray going after Rich Swann and Speedball Mike Bailey. Moose doing a power bomb to Jonathan Gresham. Now, Jonathan Gresham had Moose locked in a sleeper. Rich Swann saved him. Now, Moose accidentally speared Rich Swann, which allowed Jonathan Gresham to pin Rich Swann. So Team Bully Ray was victorious here. And so they were in the 4-way match. And one thing I liked about this 4-way match is that everybody, Nick Aldis, Heath, and Jonathan Gresham all went after Bully Ray. They all attacked him. I mean, Jonathan Gresham hit him with the drop kick. Nick Aldis hit him with the power slam. And my favorite spot in this match was when, so Nick Aldis and Heath each held the leg of Bully Ray, and Jonathan Gresham climbed up. And you guys remember the Dudley Boys would do the "What's up?" So they did that to Bully Ray here. Jonathan Gresham doing the "What's up?" to Bully Ray. And if you look closely, Bully Ray yelled "my balls" after that, which I thought was really hilarious. So that was probably my favorite spot in this match. You see, it was great seeing them all gang up on Bully, right? And Bully was talking about how he was so sure he was going to win this. So I thought that was hilarious. Okay. So on the outside, Jonathan Gresham took out Heath and Nick Aldis. Bully Ray then sent Jonathan Gresham into the ring post. Scott D'Amore comes out and he takes his chair out of Bully's hands, and then he takes a chair shot to the back of Bully Ray. So that's payback, because if you guys remember at Under Siege, Bully Ray put Scott D'Amore through. Not only did he put him through a table, he put him through a flaming table. So that's Scott D'Amore getting his payback on Bully Ray. It's not the first time Bully Ray gets mad at Scott D'Amore. I wonder if they're setting something up between Bully Ray and Scott D'Amore. So then this allowed Bully Ray to get hit with a wake-up call by Heath onto the chair and the splash with Jonathan Gresham. Gresham took a lot of beating in this. Yeah, he did. He took a serious amount of beating in here. You got the neck breaker to Nick Aldis by Heath. Nick Aldis doing the Michinoku driver to Heath. So there's this other spot that where Jonathan Gresham and Nick Aldis were on the ring ropes, and Heath came and he power bombed, I think it was Gresham, who then ended up suplexing Nick Aldis, which was actually a really cool spot. Scott recovered after 2 weeks. Incredible, right? Yeah, that's an amazing fast recovery for someone who got bully bombed through a flaming table. So Jonathan Gresham had Heath locked up in a submission move, and then Nick Aldis did the elbow, and he hit the King Sling Cloverleaf to Heath. So Heath ended up tapping out. So now we know that it will be Alex Shelley versus Nick Aldis at Slammiversary for the Impact World title. And it's not the match I was expecting. I actually wanted to see Steve Maclin versus Nick Aldis, but hey, I'm sure Nick Aldis versus Alex Shelley will be just as good. But what are you guys' thoughts on Nick Aldis winning this opportunity to challenge for the Impact World title? I know since Nick Aldis returned, he said he wanted to earn the opportunity to challenge for the Impact World title, and here it was. He earned the opportunity, and so at Slammiversary, Alex Shelley versus Nick Aldis for that Impact World title. So you got Steve Maclin doing a backstage interview, and he says that it was good for Chris Sabin to win the X Division title. It was good for Scott D'Amore to come back. He says he will have a strategy for all this, and tonight is tag 'em, bag 'em, mayhem for all. I want to get that shirt. I should get that shirt that says tag 'em, bag 'em, and mayhem for all. I like it. The National Treasure back in the Impact title picture after having had a lengthy NWA run. Part of me thinks it'll be a triple threat. Maybe. Oh, okay. I can see that. So being Steve Maclin versus Nick Aldis versus Alex Shelley at Slammiversary, I think that would be a much more bigger match than simply Alex Shelley versus Nick Aldis. That's just my opinion. But wait a second. Say it is a triple threat match, Io. Who takes the pin and who wins? Alex Shelley retains? Who would you have take the pin and who would you have win that match if it is a triple threat match? I'd say that if Alex Shelley retains, he would Nick Aldis would take the pin here. That's just me. So next we get Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity versus Gisele Shaw and Savannah Evans. Maclin or Shelley? Ooh, okay. I definitely do. See, that's the one thing though. I don't know how I would feel if like Maclin would win the title back so quickly, because Alex Shelley would also have a short title reign too. Like literally probably like less than a month, because Slammiversary is July 15th. It's a little over a month. So Deonna Purrazzo immediately went after Gisele Shaw. And Gisele Shaw did a chest chop to Deonna. We got Trinity doing the split to Gisele Shaw. Trinity did the Hurricanrana to Savannah Evans. Of course, Jay Vidal caused a distraction, and so the ref didn't see Gisele Shaw cheap shotting Trinity. Speaking of teams, I can see Gisele and Savannah being champs too. Yeah, they should be a tag team. But you know what? Since you bring this up, and then being tag teams, don't you think they'd be too similar to the Influence? You know how like Vidal could be their Caleb with their K? Do you think that they're too similar to the Influence that way? Or no? Let me know what you think of that. Savannah Evans doing a butterfly suplex to Trinity. You got Deonna doing a knee to the face of Gisele Shaw. Deonna doing the side rush and leg sweep, followed by an armbar to Gisele Shaw. Yes, LOL, only better in my opinion. Really? Okay. I can see why you think they're better. I mean, Gisele Shaw is just a phenomenal talent in her own right. And Jay Vidal's pretty good too. And Savannah Evans, they call her the cannibal, so I could see why you think that they're better. Trinity hits Gisele Shaw with the rear view, and then she got taken out by Savannah Evans. Then Evans got taken out by Deonna, and then everybody is like down and out. And Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity win this match. So they actually were able to coexist. They actually worked really well together. Deonna didn't leave her hanging. They actually worked together, and now they're gonna move ahead to Slammiversary, where they will wrestle for the Knockouts title. So of course, at the end, Trinity Gisele Shaw and Savannah Evans were not happy, and so they were about to take their frustrations out on Deonna, but Trinity saved her from, and she took out Nevaeh and Savannah Evans. And then there's this moment in the ring where Deonna and Trinity kind of just, they have their little stare down. They lift each other's hands, they hug, they shake hands, and just as Deonna's about to leave, Trinity stops her, and then they twerk at the end. So, a fun little moment between the two of them before they're gonna destroy each other at Slammiversary. I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Who do you think is gonna win? Does Deonna retain, or does Trinity become Knockouts champion? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section or in the live chat. We get the Ohio Street Fight, The Design versus OVE. Now, this match has been brewing for a while now, ever since Sami Callihan decided to infiltrate The Design, and then he, because he was trying to destroy it from the inside out. So Jake Christ recently returned, and Sami Callihan had to call Matt Fulton so they would unite OVE. This is Team Deonna always. 70-30 on Trinity. Really? Okay, interesting. I'm going to pick Deonna just because I like Deonna Purrazzo. And I don't know, I just feel like her... I don't know. I think it depends on how long Trinity's going to stay. You either have Trinity win at Slammiversary or you have her win at Bound for Glory. But with the fact that Bound for Glory is going to be in Chicago and Trinity made her debut in Chicago, I think it makes much more sense for Trinity to win at Bound for Glory in Chicago than it would be to win in Slammiversary. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. You guys can feel free to disagree with me. So this match was brutal. And honestly, I really enjoyed this match. They were not afraid to use barbed wire. I mean, Jake Christ was used a barbed wire rolling pin on Deaner's back. And it says, then again, I wouldn't be surprised if Deonna retains. Yeah, I wouldn't either. You had Sami Callihan doing an explorer to Angels onto the chair. Somebody hit, let me see. I think Deonna will win. Trinity is good, but I think it's a bit too soon for her to go for the title as of yet. She's gonna stay for a while, I feel. Okay, good point. No blood, and the design was wearing white, right? Exactly. That design came out wearing white. You would have think for a minute they were gonna be all bloodied by the end, but no, there was surprisingly. I was really surprised by the fact that they didn't have blood in a street fight. Oh my God, Sami Callihan, he grabbed the staple gun and he stapled Angels. You guys remember when Steve Maclin did that to PCO at Under Siege? Oh my God. Then Khan stapled Sami Callihan's chest. Diener stapled Callihan. Somebody threw a mailbox at Matt Fulton. Oh, I think it was Diener. And then he had Angels on him. Diener took a Callihan power driver onto that barbed wire and there wasn't a drop of blood right? Right? That was crazy. There wasn't a drop of blood in sight. Diener hit Sami Callihan with that shovel. Love Jake Christ doing the... Oh, I was about to talk about that. Good thing you brought it up, Ayo, because I was about to talk about it. So it looked like Angels was going to do... What did it look like he was going to do? Like a splash or something to Sami Callihan, but Sami Callihan rolled out of the way. And not only that, Jake Christ intercepted, like you mentioned, Ayo, with that cutter or RKO, but that was a pretty cool spot. And then Fulton, he set up a barbed wire board and he was gonna powerbomb Angels, but Angels was holding on to Fulton's dreads. Angels paying homage to Brody Lee by doing the big Brody lariat to Matt Fulton. You guys remember Angels before he was Angels was Alan 5 Angels and he was a part of the Dark Order. So, nice little tribute there to his former mentor, Brody Lee. Not to mention, there was also a suplex to a barbed wire board to dinner by Sami Callihan, and there wasn't even a drop. That wasn't enough to bust open anybody. And Sami Callihan found a bag of thumbtacks. And Khan chokeslammed Sami Callihan into those thumbtacks. And he pinned him on those thumbtacks. And there still was no blood. So then Fulton and Big Khan battle up the ring ramp and they go through a table. Deonna put Jake Christ through a barbed wire board with the driver. So at some point, Angels does a frog splash from the ladder to Sami Callihan through a table. And Deonna attempted to hit Sami Callihan with the bat, but he ducked, so Deonna got accidentally hit Angels with it. Sami Callihan doing the low blow to Deonna, and then he hit him with the cactus driver 97. That wasn't enough. Sami Callihan hitting Deonna in the face with the baseball bat, and then he did the cactus driver to Deonna on the barbed wire board, and OVE was victorious. So if I had one complaint about this match is that there was no blood anywhere. I was really surprised by that aspect. You would think that a street fight that had barbed wire, that had thumbtacks, would have blood, but it did not have blood. It says no blood in a street fight ranks right up there with no explosions in an exploding barbed wire match, right? I felt for the design. I felt the design could have used this win. What's next for them? Exactly, Io. I think that the design should have won this match because really, ever since Deonna murdered Eric Young and took over as leader, really, what has the design done? What has that design done since that? You know? The design could have used a win here. I mean, you're trying to build them up, and they've been taking a lot of L's. Although I will say they've done a good job showcasing Angels, and they've done a really good job at building Khan up as a monster. But I do think that they deserve to win, that they deserved to have won that match. EY somewhere is disappointed in Deonna. Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to end my review right there because after this is the Impact World title match with Steve Maclin and Alex Shelley, which I already talked about. Is Deonna on his way out, maybe? I thought I heard someone say that his contract was coming up. I haven't heard anything about that, but if anybody else has, let me know in the comment section or in this live chat. So overall, I actually really enjoyed tonight's show. I thought it was a really fun Impact Plus special. I really liked all the matches. If I had to pick a match of the night, it's a tie in my opinion between the street fight and Steve Maclin versus Alex Shelley. But what was your match of the night if you have one? But overall, I thought tonight's show was really, really good. I have no regrets watching Against All Odds over SmackDown or Rampage. But let me know in the comments what you guys thought of tonight's show. And with that being said, you guys, thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys Monday after Raw. Bye.